Hey everybody, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at my 108th Master Grade, the Wing Gundam Proto Zero. Now, what's with the name? This is essentially a way to ham-fist the original Wing Zero TV design into the new EW manga. It basically says that the original design of the Wing Zero, the plans that Catra got his hands on, were for this. This was the original design of that original Wing Zero. Catra modified it with the angel wings. So let's have a look, see what we got with this Master Grade. Now, one thing you notice out of the gates is they use some clear green parts, and they use them very, very well in this kit. You see there in the chest. When you build the thing, it doesn't glow that well. You can see the light shining through it. Kind of wish they had put a LED in here somewhere, but still looks good without it. See the big jewel in the center? That's just a big green piece, and there's a silver sticker underneath. See the piece slides forward, and you can see the pilot in there. Looks real good. And I really like the way the jewel shines. It really does give a good glow with that silver sticker behind it. Arms, shoulders. We do have a little bit of a problem with the shoulders in that they are kind of loose. This is partially due for the transformation, partially just because, well, they're big and kind of bulky. Elbow bend, pretty good bend. You have the bracket hands, as you had with all the wing kits, but this bracket hand comes in very useful. You see that little clamp there? That does come in useful to keep the shoulder from going crazy. I'll talk about that more in a bit, but as you can see, there's a good deal of lining on this kit. Add the head and the skirt armor. Some pretty big skirt armor on this kit. Wing Zero was always kind of a big, bulky kit, and they did slim him down a little bit, but he's still pretty big and bulky. You can see I got the decals on there, and yes, I have a nice big cut on my finger there. I got it at work, in case anyone's wondering. But you get to see it heal all the way through this video. Anyway, decals. There's a pretty high amount of decals on this kit. Granted, it's not a version Ka, but it's still around that type. And I decided to do the decals as I built the kit, just because they weren't a ton of them, but it was at the point that they're in some really oddball places, so it's better to just do it as you build the kit. Add on the wings on the back. The wings are really set up well. They're on a gear system, so you open one, you open them both. Lots of decals all over the wings. Again, another thing that takes a lot of time, and you don't want to put the wings on the thing until it's already decaled. But you'll notice it's really back heavy, a lot back heavier than I thought it would be. The wings didn't seem that heavy, but it is terribly back heavy. So you can get him to kind of stand, but he's doing a little bit of a Michael Jackson smooth criminal lean, and you so much as breathe on him, he's going over. So this kid is virtually unposable if he's on the ground. A little more look at the wings. You can see how they open up. You can see the gears inside. There's some engines underneath. It really does look highly detailed. It really does look good on this kit. But like I said, they're not that heavy, or at least I didn't think they were. But they're heavy enough to make him virtually unposable on the ground. You got to lean him up against something or have him pose real funny. Decent bend out of the knee, decent bend out of the elbow. Like I said, things are a little big and bulky in the skirt arm and the shoulders hamper. Like I said, the shoulder is a tad loose. There's that little guard on the arm that keeps you from going too bad, but it's a little on the loose side. You have these different levers that open up on the wing to show thrusters and places to hide things, which I'll talk about in a second. Now they give you a action stand, same as, oddly enough, you got with the original Wing Zero. And this solves virtually all of the problems. Like I said, he was virtually unposable on the ground. Get him in the air, things improve greatly. There's an attachment that goes right into the back of the backpack, hooks in super strong connection, no problem. Shoulders are still loose though. But you can see once he's in the air, a lot of problems are solved. This is a little bit of an awkward kit to pose with the wings, with the knees. Hips are a little wonky. And like I said, it doesn't make the posing on this particular kit perfect. It does improve it. You can see the connection is super strong though. Once he's up there, he's never coming off. It's a little wobbly though. In the kind of traditional Wing Zero pose, you can see I've got the fists in there. This is the bracket hands, and usually the bracket hands are more trouble than they're worth. This is the one exception, or at least one exception I've seen so far, where these are necessary for this kit. Talk about why in a second. First up, accessories. Beam sabers. 2 of them, obviously. 2 green blades, bit of a curve to them. Looks good. You can see that little white section there on the shoulder. You can store the beam sabers in there when not in use. Kind of different having the beam sabers stored in the shoulder compartment. They're big enough though. And no problem whatsoever holding the beam saber. Next, the shield. A big old heavy shield. Very well detailed, very well done. Again, clear pieces of green. They do this very, very well with these clear pieces of green in this kit. It's very heavy, but it has virtually no problem holding it up. I was surprised. I thought, ooh, this is going to be a big, heavy shield. Nope, not a problem in the least. Attaching to the arm. Again, a little awkward to pose because it's so big and bulky, but nothing real bad. And no problems holding it in any direction. Beam rifles. You get 2 of them, obviously, the twin beam rifles. Decals on there. Very well done with the yellow. I was kind of worried how the yellow would look. Looks great. No problem. And one question is, can it do the Wing Zero TV version pose? Full guns out to the side, no problem at all. I was surprised how well this worked. Thought, okay, over time, gravity will do its damage and it'll slowly drip down. Let it set for 12 hours. No problem. You can combine the two together, and this works so much better than the Wing Zero custom. They could barely hold themselves together. On this one, yeah, they're never coming apart. There's 2 little connections that get in there and hold it tight. No problem at all. It's together forever until you take them apart. And what shocked me is it will hold this thing up with one hand. That was an insane dream with the Wing Zero with the Angel Wings. You just couldn't do it. Here, no problem. Those arms are so strong it'll hold up just about anything at any angle. You're good. And like I said, that gun is kind of heavy, as is the shield, but not a problem in the least. Anywhere you want it, any pose you want. Like I said, since they're so big, it's kind of awkward to pose with them, but you can do just about anything. Now, the final shot pose. This doesn't work quite as well. You can see it will hold it like that, but it won't hold it perfectly straight. And there was a little tooth that hooked into it on the original Wing Zero, or the Wing Zero custom anyway. Doesn't quite work. I'm sure if you fiddled with it long enough, you could get it to look alright, but truthfully, I'm not going to be using this pose that often, so I'm not broken up about it. Now, transformation into Neo Bird mode. Flip the legs around along with the skirt armor as well. Move the shoulders down and twist the head around to the other side. Next, you're going to take out these brackets on the back of the leg, spin the feet around, and move them up. They will plug into the bottom. There's a little sliding mechanism that is really tricky to work with, but eventually you'll get it straight. And there you go. They slide into place. You bend the knees at an oddball angle, so they bend backwards. It's kind of odd, but you'll get it eventually. Take the wings, open them up, and lay them flat. They go all the way out. There's a mini wing here that hinges up and over, and you got it all set up. Now, on the ground, it's virtually, useless. Again, it can't stay straight. Luckily, they give you an attachment for the base. There's nothing really holding this on here other than gravity, but it slides right into place, and it doesn't really wobble or anything. It's a little off-kilter, but nothing terrible. And you attach the shield onto what is now the back of the backpack. And it does kind of give a bird look to it. It kind of looks like a bird's beak now. There's a couple of wings that fold out from the shield, and that doesn't look too bad, all things considered. I was never a huge fan of the Neo Bird mode, but this looks alright. Granted, this is probably the only time I'll ever transform into it, but whatever. Now you can take the twin beam cannons and hook them into the shield and have them flying forward. So a couple of guns on it. Looks good, no problem. Like I said, there's nothing really holding him on the stand other than gravity, so I'd be a little nervous about keeping that long term, because if you bump it and he's going over. But overall, looks good. If you like it, go ahead. Final thoughts on this kit. This kit gives us what we wanted. We want a TV Wing Zero. We wanted to be able to do the, classic poses like this one. And we wanted to be able to, get in the air and do great poses. It does all that. It's not perfect. It's kind of awkward to pose with. The transformation is kind of wonky. There's some issues here. Nothing big, though. If you want a Wing Zero TV version, this is the closest you're going to get, the Proto Zero. Trust me, if you want this, get it. You'll enjoy it. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to want this. Thumbs up, good kit. You'll enjoy it. But it's not a contender for Kit of the Year. Still, good kit. Thumbs up. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you found it informative. If you got any questions, please ask them. I will answer them as best as I can. Please stay tuned for more. Always got more reviews coming. And as always, thanks a lot for watching. See you next time, guys. Oh, and one more thing. See, the thing is, you and I are both equipped with the Zero system. And the Zero system doesn't really have a good effect on the pilot's long-term mental stability. Hero is not doing so well these days. He's, well, look. What on earth is he laughing about? See, that's the thing. We don't know at this point. And why does he sound like Henry?